How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. It's really a wonder that I haven't dropped up all my ideals, because they seem so absurd and impossible to carry out. Yet I keep them, because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy. I can shake off everything as I write, my sorrows disappear, my courage is reborn. I've found that there is always some beauty left, in nature, sunshine, freedom, in yourself. These can all help you. No one has ever become poor by giving. I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains. Parents can only give good advice or put them on the right paths, but the final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands. The best remedy for those who are afraid, lonely or unhappy is to go outside, somewhere where they can be quite alone with the heavens, nature and God. Because only then does one feel that all is as it should be and that God wishes to see people happy, amidst the simple beauty of nature. As long as this exists, and it certainly always will, I know that then there will always be comfort for every sorrow, whatever the circumstances may be. And I firmly believe that nature brings solace in all troubles. Because paper has more patience than people. Look at how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness. People can tell you to keep your mouth shut, but that doesn't stop you from having your own opinion. Whoever is happy will make others happy. In the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. Where there's hope, there's life. It fills us with fresh courage and makes us strong again. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I don't want to have lived in vain like most people. I want to be useful or bring enjoyment to all people, even those I've never met. I want to go on living even after my death. Women should be respected as well. Generally speaking, men are held in great esteem in all parts of the world, so why shouldn't women have their share? Soldiers and war heroes are honored and commemorated, explorers are granted immortal fame, martyrs are revered, but how many people look upon women too as soldiers? Women, who struggle and suffer pain to ensure the continuation of the human race, make much tougher and more courageous soldiers than all those big-mouthed freedom-fighting heroes put together. I think a lot, but I don't say much. We all live with the objective of being happy, our lives are all different and yet the same. A quiet conscience makes one strong. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I can feel the sufferings of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. Although I'm only 14, I know quite well what I want. I know who is right and who is wrong. I have my opinions, my own ideas and principles, and although it may sound pretty mad from an adolescent, I feel more of a person than a child. I feel quite independent of anyone. You can be lonely even when you are loved by many people, since you are still not anybody's one and only. As long as this exists, this sunshine and this cloudless sky, and as long as I can enjoy it, how can I be sad? But feelings can't be ignored, no matter how unjust or ungrateful they seem. Human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness. People are just people, and all people have faults and shortcomings, but all of us are born with a basic goodness. There's only one rule you need to remember: laugh at everything and forget everybody else. It sounds egotistical, but it's actually the only cure for those suffering from self-pity. Memories mean more to me than dresses. Those who have courage and faith shall never perish in misery. Earning happiness means doing good and working, not speculating and being lazy. Laziness may look inviting, but only work gives you true satisfaction. I wish to go on living even after my death. People who have a religion should be glad, for not everyone has the gift of believing in heavenly things. You don't necessarily even have to be afraid of punishment after death. Purgatory, hell, and heaven are things that a lot of people can't accept, but still a religion, it doesn't matter which, keeps a person on the right path. It isn't the fear of God but the upholding of one's own honor and conscience. How noble and good everyone could be if, every evening before falling asleep, they were to recall to their minds the events of the wild day and consider exactly what has been good and bad. Then, without realizing it, you try to improve yourself at the start of each new day. Of course, you achieve quite a lot in the course of time. Anyone can do this, it costs nothing and is certainly very helpful. Whoever doesn't know it must learn and find by experience that, a quiet conscience makes one strong. Anyhow, I've learned one thing now. You only really get to know people when you've had a jolly good row with them. Then and then only can you judge their true characters. The weak die out and the strong will survive, and will live on forever. I know what I want, I have a goal, an opinion, I have a religion and love. Let me be myself and then I am satisfied. I know that I'm a woman with inward strength and plenty of courage. I have one outstanding trait in my character, which must strike anyone who knows me for any length of time, and that is my knowledge of myself. I can watch myself and my actions, just like an outsider. The end of every day I can face entirely without prejudice, without making excuses for her, and watch what's good and what's bad about her. This self-consciousness haunts me, and every time I open my mouth I know as soon as I've spoken whether that ought to have been different or that was right as it was. There are so many things about myself that I condemn, I couldn't begin to name them all. I understand more and more how true Daddy's words were when he said, all children must look after their own upbringing. Parents can only give good advice or put them on the right paths, but the final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands. Everyone thinks I'm showing off when I talk, ridiculous when I'm silent, insolent when I answer, cunning when I have a good idea, lazy when I'm tired, selfish when I eat one bite more than I should. how noble and good everyone could be if, every evening before falling asleep, they were to recall to their minds the events of the whole day and consider exactly what has been good and bad. Then, without realizing it, you try to improve yourself at the start of each new day. Deep down, the young are lonelier than the old. The weak fall, but the strong will remain and never go under. Everyone has inside of him a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. I love you, with a love so great that it simply couldn't keep growing inside my heart, but had to leap out and reveal itself in all its magnitude. If we bear all this suffering and if there are still Jews left, when it is over, then Jews, instead of being doomed, will be held up as an example. I don't have much in the way of money or worldly possessions, I'm not beautiful, intelligent or clever, but I'm happy, and I intend to stay that way. I was born happy, I love people, I have a trusting nature, and I'd like everyone else to be happy too. I've reached the point where I hardly care whether I live or die. The world will keep on turning without me, I can't do anything to change events anyway. Paper is more patient than man. Laziness may appear attractive, but work gives satisfaction. Sometimes I believe that God wants to try me, both now and later on. I must become good through my own efforts, without examples and without good advice. Sympathy, love, fortune. We all have these qualities but still tend to not use them. I want to write, but more than that, I want to bring out all kinds of things that lie buried deep in my heart. And finally I twist my heart round again, so that the bad is on the outside and the good is on the inside, and keep on trying to find a way of becoming what I would so like to be, and could be, if there weren't any other people living in the world. People who have a religion should be glad, for not everyone has the gift of believing in heavenly things. I can't imagine how anyone can say, I'm weak, and then remain so. After all, if you know it, why not fight against it, why not try to train your character? The answer was, because it's so much easier not to. How lovely to think that no one need wait a moment, we can start now, start slowly changing the world. How lovely that everyone, great and small, can make their contribution toward introducing justice straight away. And you can always give something, even if it is only kindness. Don't condemn me, remember rather that sometimes I, too, can reach the bursting point.